Typen haben wir auch besiegt. Oh, jetzt muss wahrscheinlich noch die Baron Ochs. Den Hauptteil was? Der Sieger Baron Ochs. So, solange der oben ist, ist mir egal. Gehe ich gleich zu ihm. Das ist ja sowieso anscheinend alle Bollwerke besitzen. Kann ich den jetzt auch noch besiegen? Ja, den habe ich ja auch schon besiegt, so gesehen. Dann wollen wir uns mal den Baron Ochs vorstellen. Vorknöpfe, wie auch immer. Das ist ein Gauner, ist das. Glaube ich. Zumindest sieht er aus wie ein Gauner. Hast du normalerweise die Klassen, die Anna auch eigentlich hat, Gauner? Hast du auch. So, Baron Ochs wurde besiegt. Der Schwertmeister wird auch mal eben besiegt. Baron Ochs ist gefallen. Monika ist aufgetaucht. Ja, willst du dich jetzt doch endlich mal uns zeigen und aufs Maul bekommen? Achso, ist Baron Ochs dein Vater? Stimmt, Hanneman hat ja quasi dann Dingens angeführt. Manuela ist auch dabei. Alles klar. Ihr verschwört euch beide gegen mich hier. Und Jerisa ist wahrscheinlich auch bei denen. Würde mich nicht wundern, dass alle drei Lehrer sich auf einmal gegen mich stellen, obwohl normalerweise Hanneman damals bei mir im Blauen Haus mit dabei war. So. Monika wurde besiegt. Du bist aber gerade gestorben. Ja. Manuela und Hanneman müssen wir noch besiegen. Guter Hanneman. Du warst damals mal bei mir in der Klasse, Kollege. Aber wenn du unbedingt sterben möchtest, habe ich da keine Probleme mit. Das Licht auszuknipsen. Kapitel ist eine reine Poesie.
Can never be too careful.
If she keeps healing them like that, this battle will never end. Let us deal with Manuela first.
Okay.
That's too close for comfort.
Alter, er hat einfach einen Baron niedergemetzelt. Na, dann kümmern wir uns erst um dich.
It's so dreadful to see a familiar face across the battlefield. That said, I will not back down.
Warum hast du überhaupt dem roten Haus angeschlossen? Sagen wir mal so. Oh, mein Basiskommandant.
So you're an Imperial General now, Professor Manuela.
I must fight against some of my students in order to save others. These are troubling times we live in, indeed.
Ja.
I never thought the day would come that I crossed blades with Professor Hanneman.
Everyone else has shown such bravery. I must persevere as well.
Ich fände das sowieso interessant, dass es tatsächlich ja von Fire Emblem Fates so eine Art Vorgeschichte gibt, wo der Charakter aus Fates in der Welt von Awakening irgendwie auftaucht. Und dann kommt ja sowieso der Protagonist, sag ich mal, ich selber, quasi in Awakening an. Oh, jetzt können wir uns... Manuela hat sich zurückgezogen. So, und jetzt kommt Hanneman. Aber ganz ehrlich, ich muss auch ganz ehrlich sagen, dass die Videobeschreibung mittlerweile auch ziemlich schwer ist zu beschreiben. Weil du halt immer wieder das Gleiche halt machst. Von Schlacht zu Schlacht gehen oder so. Jetzt die Titel fallen mir langsam echt schwer.
I may have one foot in the grave. I insist I keep the other out of it for the time being.
Wenn ihr euch zurückziehen wollt, ist mir das relativ recht. Und wenn ihr euch mich anschließen wollt, habe ich da auch nichts dagegen. Aber wahrscheinlich hätte ich da als mehr Punkte braucht.
You forced your way into my city and kill innocent people. And you're shameless enough to claim you're on the side of justice.
Na komm schon, die komische Wisconsin, ey.
The enemy's really serious about this. They're sending in so many soldiers.
Der Feind meint es wirklich ernst. Nee, er spielt mit uns. Annette. Natürlich meint der Gegner das ernst. Logischerweise. Wer ist denn da unten überhaupt?
It's my turn.
I can go.
Time to wreck stuff.
Was bist du denn?
My turn.
Guck mal, kümmere ich gleich mit Raphael um den einen Typen da mit dem Bollwerk, weil ich muss das eine Bollwerk ja auch wieder besetzen. Anscheinend. Wir haben doch alle dann besetzt. Ja klar, da unten muss ich auch gleich wieder... Oh, aber da steht 3, aber einen kann ich ja gar nicht besetzen, weil der ja noch zu ist. Oder ist da so ein Torwächter vor? Oh, Kollege. Weil er macht sein Ding. Ja, alle Bollwerke gut besetzt. Also besser.
We've done what we can.
Oh.
Isn't it time for you to come out already, Duke Gert? A general ought to seek vengeance for his subordinates.
Be careful what you wish for.
Hi.
I've quite a lot of deaths to avenge by now.
I'm on fire!
Take a breather.
It's my
Du. Der Herzog ist aufgetaucht, ja.
He must be protected at all costs.
Es kommt Hamir. Du.
I see they're putting up one last bit of futile resistance. Too bad it's not going to work.
Hier darf irgendeiner nicht durch.
No mercy.
Der darf nicht zum Herz kommen. So, Kollege. Am besten besiegt ihr erst den und dann den komischen Grafen, Herzog, wie auch immer. Was er ist. Stirb, Kollege. Des grausamen Todes. So.
Run, Gert. You must save Her Majesty.
Oh, Majestät. Nö, der wird jetzt auch geköpft. Oder wie auch immer, keine Ahnung. Er wird jetzt gestürzt. So, und ich habe extra für den Herzog auch meine...
My territory has always strived for peace, and it's the first claimed by the flames of war.
Tja, mir egal. Wir gewinnen. Hoppala.
It's all too much for me to bear.
So, Kollege. Meine Macht erwacht.
Stay calm. This is as far as we go. Forgive our weakness.
Ja, er ist ein Spacko besiegen oder was?
You have my heart.
So. Der Priester ist, glaube ich, jetzt auch mit da drin. Und das war's.
It's not over. I cannot perish here. I must protect the Empire.
So.
Our enemies fought well.
Alter, wie sehen wir eigentlich
Not
aus,
sure
ey?
how much more we can endure.
Azura.
We've taken the main hall. Victory is ours, Knights of Fargus.
Aber Henneman und Manuela haben sich nur zurückgezogen. Die sind nicht gestorben. So habe ich das vernommen. Level up. Du. Also wir müssen Lord Rodrigo erstmal hochziehen, ey. Irgendwie alle machen mit, ey. Let's go mit der Story.
The enemy fought like they were possessed out there. One wrong move and we'd have been finished.
Imperial nobles will battle to the bitter end to protect their homes, just as we would. I suggest you get used to it. Everyone we face from this point forward will strike at us with the same vigor.
I guess it's kill or be killed, huh? It's exhausting just thinking about the road ahead.
Do not complain. We are only doing this to restore peace to Fodlan, remember?
I can't say I blame you for worrying. This is a difficult campaign in every sense of the word. For one, the unfamiliar terrain greatly favors our enemy. And however noble our cause, the guilt of invading our neighbors will always weigh heavy on our minds.
Be that as it may, we can't turn back now. If the kingdom and empire cannot coexist, then there is no other choice but to fight. He's right. We all know what'll happen to Fargus if we just sit back and let Adrestia do what they want.
So you all grasp the gravity of our actions, yet choose to march on regardless. It seems our rising lords have grown even stronger than I thought. The future of Fargus is a bright one indeed. For now, all we can do is commend our soldiers for delivering us a valiant triumph, and of course, bid they continue the march. When the sun sets on this war, only our king will be fettered by the vile moniker of invader.
Don't put this all on him.
And it will fall on you to support him through it, Felix. You understand, yes? That is your duty as the shield of Fargus, and descendant of the hero Fraldarius.
Obviously.
Oh, Rodrigue. You're up late.
Ah, yes. Preparing strategy proposals for tomorrow's War Council. The more legwork I can do in advance, the smoother the process will go, thus lessening the burden on His Majesty. Even one as strong as he would collapse from overwork were all our councils an unchecked slog.
He barely sleeps as it is, right? Sometimes I see him face down on his desk. I guess catching what little shut-eye he can.
Yes, he reminds me of the late king in that sense. Lambert too ascended the throne at a young age. Too young, if you ask me. And struggled greatly to adapt to the many rigors of governance.
Guess you two knew each other a long time then. I heard you went to the academy together at least. I've gotta ask, is Dimitri really that much like his dad?
You would hardly be able to tell them apart were they in the same room now. Though Lambert did have a somewhat shorter temper. Still, they're birds of a feather compared to my son and I. The two of us are as different as the blackest night and the brightest day.
Yeah, you're really not very similar at all. Your looks aside, of course.
If you're wondering where his stubbornness came from, that was entirely his mother. That said, he has come to resemble me over the years, though mostly in ways I had hoped to avoid.
Meaning what?
He can't live without some great purpose in life urging him forward. There is no peace in such an existence. I know, because I'm the same way. As Lambert's right hand, I devoted every waking moment to serving him, supporting him. And when he was lost, so too was my reason for being. I had no choice but to search for something else to propel me forth. In the end, and after much consideration, I chose to devote myself anew to Lambert, to seeing through the promise I had made him.
And what was that?
That should his son ever lose his way, I would be the one to set him back on the proper course. But I won't be here forever. Thankfully, His Majesty is blessed with friends like you. Ones who are willing to ease the immense burden on his shoulders.
Funny. I feel like Dimitri's been helping me this whole time, not the other way around. But it's all a give and take in the end, right? You've done more than your fair share for me, too.
I'm glad to hear that, truly. But to be frank, my own shortcomings have grown alarmingly clear of late. It's not enough to simply stand by his side and support. He needs someone to grab his hand and pull him in the right direction.
And you don't think you can do that? Even with Gustav's help?
At the end of the day, he and I are nothing more than His Majesty's retainers. We cannot view Fodlin through his eyes. But you stand on equal footing with him as a trusted friend. Such a bond is a rare thing indeed.
Dimitri's my leader, yeah, but he's a friend first. Probably helps that I'm not part of the nobility.
Is that the root of it, I wonder? If I recall, you were born in Alliance territory, yes?
Yep, in a remote mountain town off in Ordelia lands. Honestly, I don't remember much more than that. And with this weird power and all, it's hard to say for sure where I really came from.
Well, if you ask me, those things, your background, your abilities, don't matter much in the end. I can't blame you for being curious, of course. But we haven't put our faith in you because of whose child you are. The relationships you've built in your time here transcend whatever blood may flow in your veins.
Huh, what a wonderful human being. A true man of character.
Anyway, seeing as you're here, I was hoping you might be willing to share some of your wisdom with me. I would love to know a mercenary's thoughts on the proper location to stage an ambush, and where in that position our archers should take up posts.
Now we're talking. Let's see.
Ja, warum denn nicht? Macht Jute schießt erstmal ein bisschen ja, oder Aufstellungsgrad.
Azure Gleam,
Ein Trick der
a
Göttin.
trick of the goddess.
Ja Gott, Alter.
Central Adrestia is soundly defended under the command of Regent Ire. However, attacks from the Kingdom and Alliance erode the Empire's defenses in both the East and West. Amidst all this, General Randolph enlists a certain mercenary company to address his cause. Their forces stand to defend Hevring territory, the Empire's final bastion in the West. Let me get this straight. If they break through Hevring land, there'll be nothing to stop the Kingdom's army from rolling straight to the capital.
That's right. The seat of Hevring's power, Mazgus, lies east of here, past the bottleneck in the Agma Mountains. It's essentially on Inbar's doorstep, the western gateway to the seat of power. Count Hevring and his men will make their last stand there. That is, if the Lions of Fargus can get through us first. And of course, we will make every possible effort to defeat them, for whatever that's worth.
Never a good sign when you're calling something your last stand.
Indeed. And we've lost far too many of our most formidable generals, including Marquis Vestra. I've not the slightest idea what's befallen our forces at the capital, nor in the east for that matter.
Yes, the whole army's been feeling a little off lately. Thankfully, you and your squadron still have your heads on straight.
It's a sad state of affairs out there. Hardly any dependable leaders remain. Instead, we're left with those who take pride in senseless looting and slaughter, or compete to see who can reduce more villages to ash. Each and every one of them handpicked by His Excellency, the Regent.
Are you sure you should be spilling secrets like that?
It's all right. I'd like you to have the full picture. Your company holds the key to victory in your hands. And with it, our very lives. Oh, but keep all that under wraps, if you would. It would bring the morale of my troops crashing to new lows were that to get out.
Usually mercs are backup for an army, not full-on replacements. But it is what it is. In any case, we'll get the job done so long as you're paying.
Geralt, should I perish in this fight, you can consider your contract terminated. You'll be free to stop supporting the Empire in its foul descent into depravity.
Randolph.
You feeling any better? I have to say, I'm still not used to this new look of yours.
That makes two of us. But it will bother me less once I'm on the battlefield.
If you say so. With the war and the state it's in, the Kingdom is throwing everything they've got at this thing. I don't know if it's that or something else, but I've got a bad feeling. So watch yourself out there.
I will. You do the same.
Oh, right. I've been meaning to give you this. Never used to be without it. Cuts like a dream. I want you to have it. Swords like this are given to captains of the Knights of Saros, and mine was just collecting dust in the band's convoy.
That's right. Alois mentioned you used to serve there.
That was a lifetime ago. I don't plan on swinging this sword ever again.
But are you sure you want to give it away? It must be quite special to you.
I'd be happiest seeing you get some use out of it.
Thank you. I'll do that.
Be good to it, all right?
Alter, er kann sprechen, ist ja Wahnsinn.
The general opposite us is a man by the name of Randolph. I hear tell he's related to the Empire's Count Burgleys. To complicate matters further, he's hired Geralt's mercenaries to assist in their fight.
Them again, huh? Can't say I'm surprised.
The Imperial Army has gathered their forces in Hevring territory, with said mercenaries composing the core of their offense. I expect they'll engage us in the woodlands, an ideal location for the guerrilla warfare they specialize in.
Then we'll have to look out for traps and ambushes as we advance. More than usual, that is.
They're placing a great deal of faith in Gerald, trusting the front lines to his company.
Perhaps there are no other generals for them to rely on.
This is our chance then. We'll be in a great spot if we can land a decisive blow on the Empire.
Absolutely. They're bound to start feeling the heat over in Enbar once we get a solid foothold here in Hevring territory.
Yes, and the enemy is surely well aware of that fact. No doubt that's precisely why Gerald is among their ranks.
He and his company are incredible fighters. But there's more to it than that. They also have immense discipline. As long as they can afford the cost, I can see why the Imperials would trust them over some of their less experienced generals.
I didn't expect us to be facing them again so soon. We had best be ready. Though truly, I wish we could fight alongside them for once instead.
We can't keep letting one mercenary mess with our whole army. So just watch. I'm gonna take that monster out once and for all. Or at least slow them down, if nothing else.
That hesitance doesn't suit you. Not anymore. You're far stronger than the last time your paths crossed. Just say the words and I'll give you all the power I can muster. We will prevail. Whatever we decide to do, we will need a sound strategy if we are going to win.
Strategy, huh? Maybe something like a huge surprise attack on the Imperial positions.
A bold suggestion, Sylvain. You remind me of your father when he was young.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a compliment or what.
The Margrave's been managing the conflict in the north for decades now, hasn't he? I'd say it's a great honor to be compared to him.
Ah, such fine memories. All of his strategies seem to involve sending me and Lambert off to thrust through the enemy lines on our own.
Yeah, going straight to the suicide charge every time doesn't sound all that strategic to me.
At any rate, I have full faith that our combined might will be up to the task at hand. We must succeed.
Ich glaube, Avail findet das nicht so witzig anscheinend. Alter, wie viel noch, ey? Gib mir halt noch mehr. Wir fangen wahrscheinlich links an. Kann ich mir gut vorstellen. Alter, Fodlins Geschichte. Die habe ich schon mal, glaube ich, gehabt. Der Kriegsrat.
What about this?
So, erhöht etwas die Wahrscheinlichkeit bei einem Levelaufstieg die Behändigkeit zu erhöhen. Erhöht etwas die Wahrscheinlichkeit beim Levelaufstieg die Geschwindigkeit einer zu erhöhen. Erhöht etwas die Wahrscheinlichkeit die Resistenz einer zu erhöhen.
I have a worthy proposition.
I have a suggestion.
Ach komm, schon.
Let us begin.
Rodriguez, macht euch bereit. Schieß und Ash. Genau, Ash und Rodriguez. Ja. Wir gucken uns dann einfach mal die Karte an. Was denn das Schlachtfeld so sagt. Let's go, der Hase. Wir gucken uns die Karte an. Ja, das war mir schon klar. Dass wir links beginnen. Anna ist da. Und ich werde wahrscheinlich sogar versuchen, hier alles mitzunehmen. Alleine, weil halt der bleiche Dämon. Eventuell könnten wir den vielleicht sogar rekrutieren. Das wäre natürlich mega. Ja, und hier unten ist Enbar. Nein, noch nicht ganz, aber wir kommen auf jeden Fall, ja, ich sag mal, dem Kaiserreich immer näher. Ja, und hier vorne nicht sogar Garrick Mark. Ist das nicht sogar hier vorne mit der großen Schrift Garrick Mark? Das müsste ja sein. Ja, auf jeden Fall, let's go, der Hase. Wenn wir nämlich dazu kommen, dass ja, der bleiche Dämon, sprich TZR, da ist, dann möchte ich natürlich auch eigentlich tunlichst vermeiden,